Court has reversed some of Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's decisions. At last night's village board meeting, Henyard announced a 30-day temporary.
Things are heating up in Dalton, Illinois, and it's all centered around Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who's caught in a whirlwind of controversy. This isn't your typical local political drama. No, we're talking lawsuits, restraining orders, federal investigations, and even notices being served. It's like the plot of a reality TV show that was written just for her, and it's all happening in real time.
We will continue to speak out against wrongdoing.
So, what's really happening in this small town, just outside Chicago? How do things spiral out of control, and why does it seem like Henyard is holding on to power with everything she's got? Let's dive into this crazy story and break down the key moments that have led to this chaotic situation. First, let's talk about the legal battles surrounding Henyard. You've probably heard the term power struggle thrown around in politics, but in Dalton, this is power struggle on an entirely different level. Henyard is currently locked in a fierce battle with the village board of trustees, and things are getting more intense every day. The board has been pushing back hard against some of Henyard's decisions, and they've managed to score some major victories in court. For example, a Cook County judge recently issued a temporary restraining order locking several of Henyard's key appointments, including her pick for police chief Ronald Burged.
Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dalton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village Hall.
But you don't even have the sense to even look in our face. But you rather just steal our money and do what you want to do.
So why is all of this so important? Well, Henyard's critics are saying that she's been making these key appointments without the necessary approval from the village board, which is a massive violation of the Illinois Municipal Code. It almost feels like she's trying to consolidate power by filling local government positions with her loyalists. And the board? They're not backing down. They're determined to make sure she doesn't get away with it. This power grab is just one of many reasons tensions are escalating in Dalton, but Henyard isn't backing down. In fact, she seems more committed than ever to holding onto her position, despite the mounting legal troubles. And it's not just the restraining order causing her headaches. There's also the looming threat of federal investigations. That's right, the FBI has reportedly started looking into how Henyard has been handling Dalton's finances. Things have gotten so messy that the feds are now involved. One of the most explosive allegations against Henyard is that she's been using taxpayer dollars for her own personal gain. Reports claim that she's been living large on the village's dime, splurging on luxury travel, fancy meals, and even throwing over-the-top parties. One jaw-dropping report alleges that she spent a staggering $85,000 and to host a block party with R&B singer Keek Wyatt and rapper Jay Holiday. And that's just scratching the surface. Rumors have also surfaced that she's been using the village's credit card for personal Amazon purchases. One report even says she spent over $43,000 and in a single day. With all this extravagant spending, it's no wonder the village's finances are in free fall. A preliminary report shows that Dalton's general fund balance dropped from $561 million in 2022 to a massive deficit of $365 million by May 2024. That's a huge financial hole, and critics are pointing directly at Henyard's spending as the cause.
Up here to see her tenant in person after she says Henyard has been dodging both her and rent payments.
Wait, there's more. It turns out that Henyard and her boyfriend, Camel Woods, are also facing eviction from their rented home in Dalton. According to their landlord, Jenna Tahal, the couple hasn't paid rent since August and now owes over $5,000 in back rent and late fees. Tahal says she's had enough and has filed an eviction lawsuit. However, serving the eviction papers has turned into its own nightmare. Apparently, Henyard and Woods have changed the locks and the garage code, making it nearly impossible for Tahal to access the property, even for basic maintenance. It's a messy situation to say the least, and adds another layer of drama to Henyard's already turbulent time in office.
special board meeting because business has not gotten done at 2 previous meetings. So that's some progress there. But this meeting was not without its.
And if you thought that was the end of Henyard's troubles, think again. Her personal legal issues are just one part of the larger mess she's created. Let's not forget the ongoing drama with the Village Board of Trustees. Things have gotten so tense that meetings are being canceled or delayed, with accusations flying about safety concerns and violations of the Open Meetings Act. At one point, the Illinois Attorney General even stepped in and ruled that the village was in violation of the act, forcing them to move meetings to a larger venue to accommodate the growing number of residents wanting to attend. The tension between Henyard and the board is only escalating, and the community is left watching as the political chaos unfolds.
Board meeting got canceled because of a lack of a quorum.
And that came after a disagreement about where to hold the meeting as trustees expressed concerns for their.
Seems like every time Henyard tries to make a move, the board is right there to shut her down. But it's not just the board that's fighting back. Residents are fed up too. They've been showing up to meetings in droves, demanding answers and calling for Henyard to step down. One resident even went so far as to call her the most infamous mayor in America, which, given the circumstances, might not be too far off the mark. So, how did things spiral so far out of control? How did Henyard go from a landslide victory in 2021 to becoming one of the most embattled mayors in the country? Well, it all started with high hopes. Her supporters saw her as a fresh face, someone who could bring new energy to the town and help move it forward. But it didn't take long for things to start falling apart.
Leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not paid her rent. And
almost immediately after taking office, Henyard's spending habits raised red flags. She hosted a lavish inauguration party that cost around $51,000, and while she initially promised to cover the expenses with campaign funds, the village ended up footing the bill. This was a huge warning sign, and things only got worse from there. As the months went on, more reports surfaced about Henyard's questionable spending, from extravagant block parties to luxury trips. It seemed like she was more focused on living the high life than actually governing the village. As Dalton's finances continued to spiral, residents began questioning where all the money was going.
Power grab, that's it. Power and money.
Amid the growing criticism, Henyard has responded by doubling down on her position. She has refused to step down, despite calls from both residents and trustees for her resignation. Instead, she's lashed out at her critics, accusing them of being part of a power and money grab. In a rambling, nearly 90-minute Facebook Live video, Henyard vowed to seek the arrest of her political enemies, claiming they were trying to undermine her for personal gain. However, here's the catch. Henyard has made similar threats before, yet hasn't followed through. She promised to expose her opponents, to reveal the truth behind their actions, but each time she's come up empty. It's starting to seem like these threats are just another tactic to distract from her own mounting problems.
Arrests for individuals involved?
Henyard is definitely in the thick of it, with so many layers of controversy stacking up around her. Between the FBI investigation, ongoing lawsuits, the mounting financial mess, and now a personal eviction lawsuit, her leadership seems to be unraveling. Even her once solid alliances are starting to crack, and the fact that she's reportedly holding on tight to power by running for re-election in such a tumultuous time adds another layer of intrigue to this entire saga. It's clear that Henyard is not giving up without a fight. She's repeatedly claimed her critics are part of some political scheme, and, despite everything going wrong, continues to double down on her position. Her refusal to step down and her defiant attitude in the face of all these mounting challenges may be admirable to some, but to many others, it's exhausting and frustrating. Residents are showing up in force, demanding answers, and even her closest allies are allegedly distancing themselves, with whispers about potential cooperation with federal investigators. It's like a political thriller that seems to have no end in sight. Can she survive all of this? Will her determination pull her through, or will the weight of these scandals finally break her hold on Dalton? Time will tell, but it's hard to imagine how she can keep this up much longer with everything collapsing around her. What's your take? Do you think Henyard will manage to weather the storm and win re-election? Or is this the beginning of the end for her political career? Let us know your thoughts.